People don't rise to the level of their intentions. They fall to the level of what they keep permitting. I'm done being complacent. Cool. Stop permitting it. I'm done pretending. Cool. Stop permitting it. What you tolerate from yourself will become your identity. These are just behaviors and habits. Hell, they're behaviors that turn into habits because we do them over and over and over again. But once we realize this, and we can break that habit. What's one of the best ways to break that habit, though, is you have to find something to replace it. Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor, and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of DFW Grit. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Taylor, Dr. James Taylor. You can call me James. You can call me Jim. Don't call me Jimmy. So, I realize I'm sitting on a wonderful think tank, if you will. You've heard me on more than one occasion bring up the DFW Dad Squad and the awesomeness that it is. And one of the awesome things about it is this is weird. There's people in there who don't think like me. Like, oh, shocker! What? Like, I have to defend opinions, and not only that, but like question my own thoughts. What a novel concept! So, quick story. I ended up with 4 tickets to Rangers opening day. I thought I didn't have some, so I bought some. Turns out I did have some, so I had 4. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give 2 of these tickets away. And I want to do a little contest, but not a little like, share, follow kind of post. Nothing like that. So what I did is I went into the dad's group and I made a post. I said, I got these 2 tickets. And what I want them to do, I'm going to pick a winner. It's going to be completely subjective. I'm going to pick a winner. And what I want you to do, what I want you to do to be entered is I want you to list one thing that you were done tolerating from yourself. And the reason behind this is because of this little think tank, this little microcosm, this little sample size, if you will, of humanity that is this Facebook group. Much like ourselves, much like the people we interact with on a daily basis. Like things come in groups. There are ebbs and flows and things like that. And to no fault of the people in it, but just things. You ever worked in retail and the store is empty and then the store is full and it's like, did you guys all call yourself to each other to come in here at the same time and wreck my day? No, this is all just wonderful happenstance. So like things happen in groups. So everything is cyclical, right? And there had been a large number, in my opinion, of, based on what Zuckerberg shows me, of posts with guys asking for advice on how to handle situations that were more like venting, but they were venting about things beyond their control, right? Because what you got to understand, at least in my opinion, what you have to understand about me, I am of the fervent belief, and I can't believe I haven't titled an episode this before. But whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. Fact, plain and simple. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So there were a bunch of these posts that were, let's just say, again, a bunch in my opinion, for lack of a better word, bitching about other people, wives or exes, coworkers, kids. And this isn't to demean the people that made the posts, because we bitch about people all the time. We in the great collective bitch about people all the time. One of the hardest parts about dealing with people in my line of work as a chiropractor is the fact that I have to deal with people. Such is life. But a lot, in my perspective, what I was grabbing from this was people, I'll say, putting their own issues, for lack of a better word, onto other people. Kind of allowing other people to personify their own issues, their own shortcomings, their own gripes about, being alive and walking on this rock that's flying around the sun. So anyway, I put a post up there. I'm like, hey, I got 2 tickets. I'm going to give them away. But what I want you to do as an entrant is I want you to list something that you are done tolerating with yourself, not with others, with yourself. Because we have to tolerate others. We have to. We don't have to accept others, but at the very least, we got to tolerate them. And it couldn't have gone better. 60, 70, 80 posts or replies of men more or less owning their shit. At least this one time. Now, it is my sincere hope that by writing this stuff down and by posting it for the world to see, if you will, or at least this private Facebook group, that these men will actually, take heed of their own words. I know some of the posts on there were men that were in the process of doing things or that had made this change consciously or unconsciously a while ago and were continuing it. I am certain that there are some guys who wrote some stuff in there and wrote it out loud and put words to it for the very first time, just by sheer numbers alone. And that in and of itself is awesome. So what I want to do today, all right? So I'm going to give you 3 big lessons I learned from that post. And then I'm going to give you 3 actions that you can apply yourself. As always, these solo episodes, they come with a field manual. Go to www.dfwgrit.com, download the field manual for this episode. What you're not changing, you're choosing. And you could take the stuff we're talking about here and apply it to yourself, to your own lives, things like that. So, and it doesn't have to be done this week as far as the changes that you intend to make, but just something you're serious about no longer repeating anymore. So, principle number 1, again, speaking from strictly a dude's perspective, most of us pretty much already know the problem, right? We just don't like the answer. I mean, in that, reality, that's probably not even a dude's perspective. That's probably humanity. We already know what we got to do. We know what we got to change. We know the questions we got to ask. We just don't like the answer. And this could be a bunch of stuff. The things that came up was procrastination, risk aversion, overcommitting. That was a huge one in there. People are done overcommitting. Hell, I've made a couple of podcast episodes about that myself. They talk about anger cycles or being out of shape, hiding in work. That's not like going to work and then, taking a dump on company time. That's like, oh, I'm so busy. I've got so much stuff to do. Opposite side of that, complacency. And the big one that came up a lot too is isolating. A lot of guys talk about how they want to spend more time with their family and friends. And then it begs the question, do you think you probably already have the time, but you might be hiding in that work? Because the issue, again, I'm going to say this is a humanitarian perspective, not just a male perspective. It's not a lack of awareness, if you will. It's a lack of interruption on your own part, right? We know the things we got to do because most men, we don't need more insight. Hell, not even men. I'm going to keep saying men because I got a lot of information from this group of men, but this applies across the sexes, both of them. We don't need more insight. We need more pattern break. Hell, we need more guts, more chutzpah. We need a little risk. We gotta risk breaking that pattern. So, principle number 2, the excuse usually sounds reasonable. I'll get to it next week. Diet starts Monday. Back to the hiding and work. I'm busy. Oh, I work from home. This one came up a couple times. I have ADHD. The excuse sounds reasonable. I'm going through a divorce. I've had a long day. I'm protecting my peace. Peace and comfort have a large overlap. You know what they say about the comfort zone? There's not a whole lot of growth going on in there. Now, I want to specifically with the ADHD thing. I'm not denying. I mean, hell, even all of these. I'm not denying the pain of it. I'm not denying the existence of it. I'm not denying that it is an obstacle. What I'm wondering in all of these things, busy, ADHD, work from home, going through divorce, these these in a sense are part of our behaviors, or at least they help dictate our behavior. And if you're in this current stage of life, but I'm wondering how much of it is used as a permission slip for ourselves. Hmm. Pain explains behavior. It does not have to exist forever, though, because we're hanging on to these things. Some of us. I'm hanging on to my own stuff. But sometimes we like it. It gets comfortable. It's Tommy boy. It's my pretty little pet, if you will. Principle number 3. Change starts when the standard gets louder than the excuses. Because this permission slip, this pretty little pet, they can easily work their way into being excuses of ours, right? So change starts when the standard gets louder than excuses. A lot of the stuff that people were saying, I'm done tolerating this version of myself. I need to be the spiritual leader of my household. I'm done making excuses. I'm done pretending. I like that one. I'm done with complacency. I'm done not following through. I brought this up on past episodes too. One of the things that gets me out of bed in the morning to go work out is a simple phrase: I don't negotiate with myself. I follow through. I follow through on the promises I made to myself. And not only that, I follow through on those promises first, or I try to. Sometimes we have to put ourselves on the back burner. Sometimes we don't have to, but we choose to. One of the things I said on there, because I replied to each and every one of these comments, an issue that I personally face is I love being seen as capable. Hey, I need this done. Sweet, I got it. Hey, nobody knows how to figure this out. I can do it. I love being seen as capable. But when I allow myself to do that, because it's me allowing myself to do it. When I allow myself to do it, I'm taking time away from me, taking time away from things I have to do. I'm taking time away from my growth, from my spiritual connection, that's me pretending. It's the same thing, right? So people don't rise to the level of their intentions. They fall to the level of what they keep permitting. I'm done being complacent. Cool. Stop permitting it. I'm done pretending. Cool. Stop permitting it. What you tolerate from yourself will become your identity. These are just behaviors and habits. Hell, they're behaviors that turn into habits because we do them over and over and over again. But once we realize this, and we can break that habit. What's one of the best ways to break that habit, though, is you have to find something to replace it. So let's get into the 3 actions that we can do to achieve the end goals, right? To break this cycle, if you will. So number 1, name the pattern out loud. And that's what these guys did by commenting on this post. Each one of them named it. Some named it better than others, but they put it out there. And the name that you can put on it, the detail that you can put into it, will increase your likelihood of success, because this isn't a vague specificity. This isn't, I need to be better. At what? What do you need to be better at? But like, I overcommit because I like being seen as capable. Shit, I didn't even know that was coming up. That's awesome. I isolate because it feels safer than being seen. Putting yourself out there is a dangerous and risky thing, because what's going to happen is people are going to come at you with just questions. Some will come at you being assholes, but some are going to come at you with questions, and you actually have to defend yourself. I procrastinate because starting feels threatening. Starting is risky. Number 2, the second thing you can do this week, identify the payoff. Every bad pattern pays us something. What do I get from this thing that I don't want to do anymore? Is it distraction? Is it avoidance? Is it comfort, sympathy? Is it control? I was listening to John DeMartini the other day, and he really broke it down. He's like, there are really only 2 forms of stress: not getting something that you want, or having something you don't want. The end. You either got too little of something you desire or too much of something that you have disdain for. Those are the only two forms of stress. It's the only two ways it comes in. From the chiropractic standpoint, I tell patients you've got three things that stress can fit into. And the easiest way to remember it is it's in the top left corner of your keyboard. It's the escape key. It's environmental, structural, or chemical. Those are the only three stresses we have. Too much or too little of any of those will cause us to stress. So if behavior keeps surviving, it keeps getting fed. Stop feeding it. Number 3, thing you can do this week, set one replacement standard. That's what I'm talking about. If we're going to change a behavior, we have to replace it with something. I quit cold turkey. Okay, well, what would you replace it with? Oh, nothing. I'm sticking to it in my brain. Oh, that's a recipe for disaster. So, not one giant goal, just one standard. I don't make commitments I can't keep. I don't negotiate with myself. And then in there, whatever it is, you can even make it more finite. I made mine about workouts. Probably should make it about eating a little better too and taking my vitamins actually 7 days a week. I address tension early. Shit, that one's hard. It's like I write these outlines, but I forget what I put in them. Addressing tensions early. Hell, I made personally, I'll toot my own horn, beep, beep. Like you guys are aware, maybe, I don't know. I have a whole new staff. And one of the things that I didn't like about the old one was I didn't address some tensions early. And one of them was sweatshirts. We have a company uniform in this office, but I am a man and I run hot. I work with women. They typically run a little colder. And in the past, I allowed baggy sweatshirts. I didn't like it, but I allowed it. Change a whole new staff. One of the girls comes in, sweatshirt on, totally fine. We're not seeing patients yet. Boom. Patient time. Curtains go up. Lights go on. First couple of patients come in. I pop my head out of the office. She's still got that sweatshirt on. And I go back and I go doing stuff. I'm talking to myself. Just tell her to take the sweatshirt off. She's got her uniform on underneath it. And I saw 2, 3, 4, 5 more patients thinking about that the whole time. But then I just walked up there just real quick. Hey, you want to do me a favor? You want to just take that sweatshirt off? She goes, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I totally forgot. And I haven't been that proud of myself in a long damn time. And it was so simple, right? And it was just addressing tensions early. Just these little things. So back to the group. What surprised me the most is how many men knew exactly what the issue was. A grand majority of them knew exactly what the issue was because, like I said, I commented on every one of these. I tried to pull a little bit more out. How many of the struggles weren't dramatic? They were just things that they were tolerating. I mean, again, I tolerated a sweatshirt and I hated it. So then I had an opportunity to set the standard. Hey, you want to do me a favor? You want to take that sweatshirt off? Oh, yep, sure, no problem. I didn't want to tolerate it anymore. And that's the thing, like a lot of these things in these comments, they weren't huge, big, gigantic things. They were little things that these guys were tolerating. Nothing came up, and this should come as no surprise, just the amount of pain that was held with the words, I'm fine. A couple of people just like, what are you not tolerating from yourself anymore? I'm not tolerating myself telling people I'm fine. It was cool how ownership showed up when the question was answered inward instead of outward. The commitments that these guys made and the comments they made, they weren't coming from victims. They were coming from guys taking ownership of the shit they no longer wanted to deal with about themselves. Because you can't change anybody if you don't change yourself first. They are full of men at the edge of honesty. And that's strong. I mean, it was really cool to see. And I was proud of each and every one of them who decided to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, here's something I don't like. about myself and the way I act. This is something I feel is holding me back. Because, like I said, the whole impetus for this post in the first place was because I felt that there are too many people concentrating and focusing on what other people doing that they didn't like. So, you don't have to fix your whole life this week, my friends, but if you do need help to stop pretending that you don't know where you're letting yourself slide, like I said, pop over to the website, grab that field manual, www.dfwgrit.com, because, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart, whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. Plain and simple. That's the fact of the matter. And it's not that applicable to people outside yourself. Change comes from within, my friends. I feel like they wrote that in a book somewhere. If they didn't, somebody should. So I hope you got something from this, because like I said, this is a wonderful little experiment. I did not intend to run. I just wanted to give some guys some baseball tickets, and it showed me a lot, and it was fantastic. So as always, please like, share, follow. Catch us on the next episode of DFW Grit. Pop over, check out the website, www.dfwgrit.com. Share the reels, all that kind of stuff. This is good. This is really good. I like this. You guys have a great rest of your day.